Hello, hello, and welcome to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and I'm Dungeon Master of this ragtag group of heroes and adventurers. And you are joining us for Tyranny of Dragons, episode 43. We are well and truly middle-aged now with our episodes.
We're definitely getting there.
It was an improvised joke, I'm sorry, it backfired.
That's right.
But please, this campaign is all about the lovely players who join me each and every Wednesday. Please introduce yourself, lovely players. Claire normally starts, she's not here. You're going to have to start with Michael. You're going to have to start with Michael.
I'm Lockie, the Warforged Artificer, who is trying his darndest not to rust in this jungly, humid environment.
That's it. Yeah, that sums it up nicely. Yeah.
All right, I'll jump in. Hey guys, I'm Jared, and I play the character of Jin. He's a level 6 Law Bard and level 2 Hexblade Warlock. He's the spy extraordinaire of the group, and he's currently an associate and ally of the Tempest Guild, and is helping them in their goal of stopping the Queen of Dragons Tiamat. He's currently in a jungle and is also trying not to rust. Well, lies. He's actually trying not to be as... He doesn't want to be a sweaty boy, so he's trying his damnedest to not be sweaty.
My name's Jared, I'm playing Jin, he's a sweaty boy.
I think I've cast Prestidigitation already like a bunch of times.
Exactly right. And our guest character who is now a permanent member of the cast.
Yeah, hi, I'm Allie, I'm playing Lyra, the druid, who is very happy to be back in sort of her natural habitat, so to speak. She's interested in the dragons, but I think honestly she's more just keen to go on a bit of an adventure with her new friends.
Exactly right. Now, the other member who joins us is Claire, who plays the character of Mira. She will be joining us tonight. She's just running a teensy bit late. When she gets here, Michael or Claire will alert me and let me know, and she will introduce herself. But for the moment, I will take control of Claire's character, Mira, and I will do my best to ensure she does not die in the 40 seconds that I will be in control of it. Yeah, I'll try my best. You watch as Mira puts her hand inside of a death wasp nest. No. So I better do a little recap so everybody knows where we are up to. So last session, finally, our players decided to head into the jungle.
We are in the jungle.
You're in the jungle. On the island of Nunia. The characters are currently hunting down a member of the Cult of the Dragon. A group that has been around in various forms for centuries, but historically they've been sort of known to use necromancy to bring the bodies of dead dragons back to life as Dracoliches. So traditionally pretty cool, chill stuff. This group in the past few years, though, something has changed. They seem now to be focused on accumulating vast amounts of treasure just by any means necessary. The group have encountered them a number of times now and thwarted their schemes at every turn. But the group have discovered that this acquisition of wealth is not the end game. The cult seem to be after this hoard for some other reason, some ritual required to release Tiamat, as Jared so succinctly put, who is one of the evil betrayer gods. Other requirements or specifications for this ritual at the moment remain somewhat clouded and unknown to the party, except that they now know that there are 5 chromatic dragon masks, so 5 dragon masks in the colours of each of the dragons. And there is a bit of a sneaking suspicion that Mira might somehow be needed or useful in the activation of this ritual. Our party have been travelling around by airship, their newly acquired and bought airship, known as an Air of Decency, following a slip-up by me. The airship has taken them to the island nation of Nunia, a savage, bare, ravaged hunk of rock in the middle of the Arctic Ocean that has a central caldera, central volcanic region, which is provided large amounts of heat and humidity, creating a lush, dense jungle in the island's centre. After arriving at the village of Borski Bridge, the party faffed about a bit, recruited an intern, and then finally decided to actually do what they came here for, to investigate Varum, one of the leaders of the cult who had been spotted around the area of Borski Bridge heading into the jungle. For what purpose? The party do not yet know. After Lyra turned into a giant eagle and carried the rest of the party on her back, except of course for Lockie, who was half inside of a bag
There was
of
a lot
holding.
of math to be done there.
Oh, fuck me. Yeah. Let me have a quick drink. I'm reminded of that now, so. Just get some more alcohol in me so I don't have to think about that anymore.
At least we're not talking about how magic works.
Oh, fuck. I'm out of beer. I need more beer. I need something stronger to talk about that. So the party, Lyra turned into a giant eagle. Lockie climbed half into a bag of holding and wore it like a diaper. And the rest of the party rode on Lyra's back as they headed into the jungle, using her ability to transform into a flying shape to their advantage, to scout out the area, find a safe place, and also to begin their investigation of the forest below. After discovering an open clearing where they had seen little glints of metal or signs of something on the forest floor, Lyra attempted a stable, safe landing. An emphasis on attempted, as it resulted in the party being thrown into the muddy earth right in front of the corpse of an explorer, possibly from the Oxenfurt Historical Society. There was a very sort of hastily prepared area around this skeleton, the skeletonized remains of a woman and some sort of monkey. The woman had been bound to the tree by roots which had grown through her body. She had a backpack, a purple shirt and orange pants, and the monkey skeleton next to her was wearing boots, very strangely. The party decided this was nothing to be suspicious about and just started stomping through the forest. Very quickly, discovering that there are carnivorous plants scattered throughout, with Jin, I believe, stepping into the heart of a carnivorous flower that rose up and began munching him. After Lyra turned into a snake and grappled the plant, which was grappling her, which she was grappling the plant, but it was grappling her, and she was also grappling the plant, but while it was grappling her, bit of a robberist going on there, the party were able to destroy this carnivorous flower. And we now jump back in, right at the end of that combat. So Lyra is still in snake form, coiled around this giant mass of spiked leaves, writhing tentacles, which are slowly sort of twitching every so often as the plant begins dropping lifeless to the floor, large sections of it having been burnt by Mira's fire magic and blasted off and disintegrated by Jin's Eldritch Blasts.
Eldritch Blast.
Lockie, I believe you had a tendril that was... No, Lyra was tangled up in it. I think one of the tendrils had gone for Lockie but missed. So yeah, Lyra, the tendril that has gripped you in this death grip while you're gripping the flower in a death grip goes slack as the plant begins to wither, sort of releasing you from this hold as you're grappled against it. Mira sort of moves up and goes, I must take notes, so interesting. And begins writing in her logbook about the features of this plant.
I think Lyra... Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
I was going to say, I think Lyra might quickly form up a mental link with Lockie. And because she's a snake, she can't speak to everyone right now.
Yes.
But through Lockie, she'd sort of like to ask everyone and sort of be like... so it seems that the ground might not be the safest place for us right now. While I'm a big-ass fucking snake, you all can probably climb on. We can travel via, sort of that lower canopy there, maybe. Just, avoid the ground altogether, maybe not hit any more of those plants. If we can avoid it, what do you guys think?
Lockie repeats it.
Thank you.
I reckon we could just jump on my back because I'm a big-ass snake and go through the underbrush. I'm paraphrasing.
Mira... Oh, sorry, no, you go. No, you guys go.
The only problem with that is, wouldn't we still be traveling on the ground?
No. Via the trees.
And I take it that you say that to Lockie, and Lockie says that to me.
Yeah, I think with standing orders heading forwards, anything Lyra says, Lockie is repeating. He just opens his mouth and like a recording of Lyra's voice comes out.
We can travel via the treetop. Y'all can just sort of like hold on. I'll climb up the tree and just stretch across from treetop to treetop and avoid the ground altogether. And hopefully there aren't like crazy spiders or howler monkeys or anything up there.
Well, some problems coming. One, we don't have any saddles for you. We can fashion out of ropes easy enough. But could you even withstand 3 people on you, and could those branches sustain a giant snake and 3 people's weight?
Oh,
Mira is nodding as you mentioned the branches.
yeah.
Like, I just don't know how strong they
I
are.
couldn't do the branches are probably going to be the issue there.
It's a great idea, but just it might be a tinsy little bit too much weight.
No, I probably could have thought that through better.
It's a good idea, though. I applaud you for thinking fast on your feet, or lack of. Wait, is Lockie laughing?
Yes.
I sort of give him a glance and a bit of a smile. Lockie, did you just get my joke? You didn't take it literal.
Well, you explained it very nicely because she doesn't have feet, but you used a phrase with feet in it.
I start slowly just clapping because Lockie's always so literal and he actually got a joke for once.
He did get a joke.
Bravo.
Hey.
Well, that thing was not fun.
No, it seemed to basically jump out of nowhere. Were there any possible telltale signs that we could have looked out for?
Well, now that we're looking at it, maybe.
Anyone who would like to have a bit of an investigation can roll an investigation check or a nature check. Your choice.
I was going to say, could Lyra, as a snake, sort of do something maybe with her blind side, or she's sort of got a bunch to perception. Was it investigation? Sorry.
Yes,
investigation or nature.
Or nature.
Okay,
Giant snake. Do you have blind sight?
She does. 10 feet of it.
Oh my god! Why do snakes have blind sight?
Tremor
sense.
Snakes are
no, that makes sense because snakes can't really. Typically, snakes are like almost blind. If
they see with infrared.
Yeah, they see infrared. Blind sight's not technically correct. I would have said they've got heat vision.
Oh, but
or tremor sense.
Snakes,
tremor sense would make sense.
Yeah, tremor sense makes because normally
tremor sense would make more sense.
Snakes, see the world more through vibrations and stuff like that.
Exactly.
The ground.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why you're told to stand still when you see a snake because
exactly, and why you should make a lot of noise when you're approaching or walking through the bush. And you don't really know if they're snakes. Snakes don't want to be near the fucking noise. They're like, what the fuck is this? They get out of there. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
How would we work that? I'm actually going to change that. I think tremor sense makes more sense for the snake. And I will add a sense as well, which is thermal sense of 10, 15 feet, because snakes can sense thermal energy. One of the reasons they're flicking their tongues out all the time is to get a read of the thermal energy and thermal radiation around them. So that is very... Oh yeah, go.
I don't know if blind sense would work, but maybe it might be explained a little bit by like snakes sticking at their tongues and getting a sense of their surroundings through their tongue.
Yeah.
They actually use that as a sensory thing. Because obviously snakes have more blind, like eyesight. I don't know. It's totally up to you. Tremor sense makes a lot of sense.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to modify your. One of the comments is, the streamers are Australian when they all know so much about snakes. Yeah. Wait till I start talking about sharks. I'm an Australian scuba diver. So.
Look, I'm a conservationist. I see snakes every day. I see exactly. I've stood like a meter or two away from like. Brown snakes, like one of the deadliest snakes in the world, are not even batted an eyelid. No, I've got a cool story. My front door, we had a green tree snake halfway up the front door one time, which is fantastic. Oh, up the front door.
Up the front door. Yeah. Green tree snake was like, this looks like a safe place to climb.
Like on the security door or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Through the. I know. And everyone was like panicking. I was like, no, he's friend. The worst he can do is make a bad, oily smell. Leave the green tree snake alone. He's not dangerous at all.
He'd be fine.
Let him be.
If it was an inland taipan, it'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't see that.
I did see a coastal taipan once on the beach. I didn't realize what it was, so I went to have a closer look, and I was like, oh yeah, that's one of the deadliest snakes in the world. So I backed off nice and slowly.
The ones in the oceans and stuff are pretty full on. But the inland taipans, you don't see them much at all.
Australia is a lovely place, and you should all move here.
Absolutely. We had a diamond python that used to live at my parents' house back in Sydney. We named him Steve. He was around for years.
Oh, there's diamond python would be fine.
Yeah. No, they're awesome. Go rid of all the mice. Bloody brilliant.
The message I have for anyone who's scared of Australian wildlife is that almost 99% of the time, if you don't fuck with the wildlife won't fuck with you. And the ones that do fuck with you, like redback spiders, it's not that bad. I've been bitten by a redback. It's not fun, but it's not the worst in the world. But like,
my cousin got bitten by a redback, and he went to the hospital, and they just basically put him under observation, and then that's all they did.
Yeah,
and then he just after a few hours, he walked out. Like
you feel a bit sick for a bit, you get a bit feverish, you vomit for a little bit, and then you're fine.
At the end of the day, like all our little critters are like little critters, so we're still big. And if we stomp and if we move and do our normal things, they'll leave us alone. Half the time, we might be near one and not even realize that we're even close to it.
Exactly right.
We're like hippos, man. Fuck them.
Exactly. 100%. I could not agree more. Cows are terrifying. You should
Actually,
be more
I will
afraid
say,
of cows.
crocodiles, if you're up in the north, definitely a problem.
Yeah,
like,
I'll agree with you
like
100% on that.
They're one to watch out for.
They're the exception. Yeah, no,
but I
they
live in
actively hunt
Victoria,
humans.
so I don't get crocodiles down here.
I don't.
Too cold.
No, crocodiles actively do hunt humans. No, they're the exception. Everything else in Australia is
very territorial.
But no,
it's not so much that
crocodiles
they're
are
hunting. It's not so much that they're hunting, obviously. It's that they're territorial and will just go for anything in their like vicinity.
And idiots go swimming in their billabongs and then wonder why they get eaten.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, there's a few notorious cases of that. But yes, anyway, D&D.
Back to D&D. So what I'm going to do is, from now on, the giant snake, Lyra, the giant snake has it's a modified version of blind sight. So you definitely have tremor sense. So definitely it's tremor sense. And it's a modified version of blind sight where you're sensing the thermal energy of things. So it's like it's an improved sight, but it's not full blind sight, which is like, oh no, that'd be true sight I'm thinking of. So actually, no, I think blind sight's fine. No, I'll stand by it. So actually, where it's a modified version of blind sight focused on heat energy, but it is still a form of blind sight, and you also have tremor sense as well. I'm adding to that.
Nice.
So Lockie Hobbs, investigation of 18, Lyra, investigation of 15. Yeah, so both of you together are looking for slightly different things. Lyra's focusing on the movement of feeling the vibrations in the ground. Lockie's looking from above for visual signs. Yeah, there are absolutely more of these things. You can see that every 20 or 30 meters on the pathway, there are indications of potentially where these things were or where they currently are. Lyra, you can feel movement underneath the ground as if they are actually moving. There are tunnels deep below, about 10, 15 feet below you. And these things, these pods are not a full plant. They are just a part of a plant. And wherever that big plant is somewhere in the jungle, these are extensions of it. And they are moving through the ground to different locations.
That's horrible.
Yes. Yeah.
Quick question so I'm going to, as Lockie and Lyra are sort of looking at this stuff, I go, I imagine we're talking about it, so Lockie's probably pointing at things and talking about it, and here, and here. I'll sort of pose the question, in your musings and, sort of investigation of these plants, do they all seem to be more situated on the path, or are they also situated through the undergrowth and the forest floor?
Well, I can definitely see at least 3 in front of us, if you stretch down.
Is it all on the path, though?
Mostly around the path, yeah.
Ooh,
that's where they're concentrated.
What's dickhead told us to stay on the path?
Well, here's where it gets interesting. You don't think... So this pathway towards the north, now that you're paying closer attention, Lockie, this doesn't look like a path that is a path because it's been trod. It looks like this is basically created by the movement of these things under the ground. It's actually not a path of walking. It's a path created by these things.
Also explains why when we found those tracks of the snake person, we think, not sure exactly what humanoid it was, but it was actually traveling off the path in the jungle.
That does make a lot of sense. Perhaps we should follow suit.
Yes.
Works for me.
So you can see the pathway to the south, Jin, the one that you approached before where the bridge was. That's a bit different. You can see, because you walked along that with no problems at all up to where the edge of the glade was, and you could see there was another one of these carnivorous flowers below. The bridge looks a bit different. Doesn't look like it's one of these false trails. It looks like it is an actual trail. But yeah, the one to the north, it's definitely not a pathway created by people walking. Now that you're looking for it, especially Lyra with your... oh no, you didn't roll nature. Sorry, especially Lockie with your investigation check then. As you're looking, you can see that, there's no signs of tracks or anything like that. It's just the earth has been overturned so many times by the movement of something underneath it that stuff isn't growing on this section. So it's not a real path at all.
Wow.
Well, let's pick a direction then. If we're gonna go off path, are we still sort of going that general northeasty west?
That
Well,
sounds. Yeah.
I think we'd always chosen to go north because we were going to follow those tracks of that other humanoid. But the boots, they go east over this bridge that I saw.
Also, didn't you say before, Lyra, that the closest set of mountains was to the northeasty west? You were saying.
Yes, possibly.
So you guys have come from east. You flew northwest a little bit. You can see that the whole area where you guys are, the entire jungle area, is in the center of a caldera, a volcanic caldera. I think you guys have established that it's an ancient volcano. That this is just the internal section of an old volcano that's sort of no longer spewing lava, but is still quite a bit of geothermal activity underneath to provide, the warmth to maintain this jungle. But you could head in any direction and hit the mountain wall. It's basically a big old circle. Not a perfect circle, more of an oval, I guess, because tectonic movement has changed the topography a little bit. But yeah, it's a massive, massive oval. So in any direction you head, you will hit mountainous area eventually.
I thought the northwest was the closest one, but
What was that? Sorry, Lockie?
I thought the northwest was the closest one. But I might be.
Yeah, so the northwest is the closest from where you guys are now that's not back the way you came.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, because that's the direction you headed. You headed northeast, so therefore northwest would be the closest section that's not the way you came. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, yeah. I mean, we could head straight north. It's not going to make that much of a difference. It just means we'll be in the in this caldera, did you say, Lyra? This caldera a little bit longer.
Well, I think if we know to keep an eye out for things that want to kill us, bring it on, jungle.
The only question I have is what exactly are we tracking this way? The boots go east. Why are we going north?
Because east goes back to where we were, back to the town.
So the east will loop back around.
No, east sends us back to the town we just came from.
Because last time someone did a survival check and they said they saw tracks going up north and then tracks that were going east. But
so you saw tracks that were headed north, not on the pathway, but through the undergrowth here, and they were very strange tracks. They weren't footsteps; they looked like drag marks almost. And the footprints were headed this direction, down towards the south and across the bridge.
So they were different types of tracks coming from where we are. So over this way.
No, they were coming from the south. So not from where you guys were. They were coming from the south.
From the south to the east.
Yeah.
Does it look like
so curving around towards the east?
Just a guess. After flying over the forest, when we came up this, so when this path here. Would that be coming more from the town?
Yeah, it would be. That direction towards the south is closer to where the Borskia Bridge is as well. Definitely. Yeah. I would say that having flown overhead and being in this direction, it looks like these passageways and pathways move throughout excuse the pun, they sneak throughout the jungle, Lyra, in various directions. And they don't follow real proper rule. As far as you can tell, the pathways just seem to move about, meander aimlessly for no apparent reason. Although now that you've seen these creatures, these giant carnivorous, potentially you suspect that there might be dangers in this jungle that these pathways are avoiding, and that's why they're so snaky. But yeah, it looks like that pathway towards the south would eventually lead back towards the east and meet up with Borskia Bridge. This one that's heading towards the east right now, at some point in the future, could curve back towards the north again, even to the west. You've not sure. But it looks like these pathways don't follow. They're not like roads. They are rough walk tracks through the jungle. Yeah.
Because I remember Mira saying that she wanted to go north to follow the other track and potentially make an ally. She said, but we're in a position where we've got no real info. so I guess it's just which way. It's just
pick a direction. Oh, I reckon.
Pick a direction, hope for the best.
Yeah.
Would you like to roll a dice to do that?
I'm feeling north.
I'm inclined to agree, actually. Perhaps north is the best way to go.
Well, we can go
Alrighty.
north. I'm just a little bit. It just makes more sense to follow the boots. That's our quarry. But okay, if we want to go north and see where it goes, hopefully it just doesn't stray too far away from our quarry.
I think Mira would say at this point, yes, well, it depends what our goal is. If we wish to chase the cultists, then we should follow the boot tracks. If we would like some help in these jungles, perhaps we could find these snake people. The drag marks may indicate their movements. That is if they are friendly.
Well, that's it. Hopefully they are
That's
friendly.
a good point.
Only one way to find out, I guess. Well, it sounds like
And
everyone
we'll
wants to
probably-
go north, so
Yeah.
it might be a good idea sending Lyra ahead. It sounds like you've got a few more senses than I have at my disposal.
No, I think I'm with you there. Maybe stay, maybe 5-10 feet behind me, just in
Yes.
case,
It probably
Sure.
helps as well that a giant snake makes contact with these snake people. It could, be in our advantage.
familiar-ish face. And I guess sort of with that, Lyra is gonna slowly trek her way north, using all of the sneaky senses at her disposal.
Following
Yeah.
that track.
Absolutely.
Are we just going to mirror that track? It makes sense just to follow that track.
So the drag marks through the undergrowth that you've established, I think it's safe to say you've established are probably tracks from giant snakes or snake-like creatures, shall we say, are staying close to that pathway, but not on the pathway. They're sort of making their own way through the undergrowth. Perfect. Now what I'll do is I'll leave this little battle map up just because it's nice to look at, but don't worry about moving your characters. We're going to switch back to Theatre of the Mind for the moment, and if anything fun happens, I'll bring you to a different battle map. So,
Sounds good.
Lyra is taking the lead using her tremor sense to keep an eye out. Lyra, could I please have a perception check? You don't need to roll with any bonus or anything like that. I'm taking different things into account, so that's not that. Yeah, so just a perception check using your 24. Yeah, it's not a bad perception. Not a bad perception. And what are the rest of you doing?
I stick my hand in a hornet's nest, apparently.
Oh my god, Claire's here.
Claire's here.
Not hornets. Death
She
wasps.
was listening to what I said.
Death wasps.
Sorry, I was eating my lunch.
Wait, it's 8:36
Yeah, I know.
PM. Oh, Claire.
Yeah.
Michael, pour that woman a gin. She doesn't like gin. She doesn't like gin. Pour her something she likes. Doesn't have to be gin.
We got chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk. We're adults. We're drinking chocolate milk. Pour some Baileys in. Pour some Baileys in. Creamy beige. Oh my goodness! You're just in time. So actually, Mira, if you wanted to give your opinion on what you wanted to do, the choice is now to follow these snake-like tracks, these drag marks through the undergrowth up towards the north, or to follow the footprints towards the east. It has been fairly well established that the pathways through the jungle rope and snake around with no real direction. There is no proper... it looks like these are avoiding dangers that you guys are not aware about. I think is probably at this point an inference you have made, your characters have made, if your intelligence is above a 10. So Mira, yours is a 10, so you've made that inference. So Mira, what would your vote be? I sort of didn't make a vote for you. I kind of had you sit on the fence and offer pros and cons to each of the arguments, but which would be your vote? Do you want to go north or do you want to go east?
I think that from last time I remember we said that the snake people went north. And
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, in Mira's mind, she's just falling back on the whole political tricks and is like, oh, maybe the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We should just at least check out the snake people to see if they are completely unfriendly, or maybe they could help us, guide us through the forest at least. That's her.
I like it.
So that was.
So
I think what
it's a
she's
kind of the metaphorical equivalent of sticking your hand into a death hornet's nest. I like it. It's good.
like I said, intelligence is 10. It's a 50.
They could be helpful. They could murder us. Let's stick my hand in and see what happens. Yay!
Yeah. My wisdom's got that great.
There we go. I think we've got our votes. So yeah, I'll leave the battle map up so you've got something pretty to look at. But we will switch to Theater of the Mind. So we know Lyra's out in front looking for danger. Jin, what would you be doing?
Well, I think a marching order would probably be good.
Yeah. Actually, do you want to arrange yourselves in a marching order on the battle map? So put Lyra in front.
Definitely Lyra in front. I think I've got pretty decent skills and stats. I might do the rear guard, and maybe Lockie and Mira can sort of take the middle.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'm decently...
the other side of it is also I've got a big old AC. So actually, I might stick behind Lyra so she gets into a problem there. Then at least
No, I think that's good. Yeah. Keep your sorcerer right in the very middle where they belong.
Yep.
Claire. Yeah. So keep them away from danger. Perfect.
Because even my AC is not too bad. I've got 18 AC.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to
And
keep
I got
the
the shield
person with the
spell.
least number of hit points in the very center.
Yeah.
Oh, you've just been given advantage, Lyra. Thank you, Looney1001. I will mark that off.
Thank
You've been
you.
given advantage as the Australian snake. Perfect. So yeah, Lyra's out front keeping watch. Illyrian's at the back keeping watch. Illyrian, I'd love a perception or investigation check from you, please, my friend.
Let's do perception. Not
15,
horrible.
fantastic. Mira. Mira. What are you doing?
What am I doing? He's in the middle. I guess she'll be keeping an eye and an ear out for any, because she's completely unfamiliar with this environment, right?
Yes.
She's-
This is about as far away from your history as possible.
Exactly. Yeah. She was born in the Icelands and then lived in a city, so she has no idea what she's doing. So I think she's probably looking out with a little bit of paranoia for any signs of humanoids.
Yep, okay. I'll grab a perception or investigation check from you.
Yes.
I kind of like the idea of like Mira's not really seen this much greenery before, so like she's looking around suspiciously at the trees, and, like doing insight checks on the ferns as she walks past them.
I mean, that's fair enough considering what we just went through.
It's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Touche. 22, Mira, very nice. And Lockie, you said you were going to be sort of keeping guard and keeping an eye on Lyra, so I think we've got enough perception checks across the board. You don't need to roll anything. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So you guys begin your trek into the deep jungle. It is tough going off the pathway. The undergrowth is dense and thick. Vines and roots snag and aim to trip you at every turn. And it feels like the insects in this area of the jungle are out for blood, biting to the bone. The incense that Mira has lighted, the citronella, is doing its best to keep most of them away, but every so often a brave mosquito or brave beetle sort of gets through and has a bit of a go, sort of chomping down hard. Less of an issue for Lyra and Lockie, given the scales and metal, but probably even less of an issue for Mira. You've got scales as well. Illyrian, at the back, it seems like everything is gunning for you. Mosquitoes sort of seem to land on you every few seconds. You're sort of swatting and moving them away. And as you pass through a particularly dense piece of undergrowth, you sort of bring your hand up and now see it has like 6 or 7 tiny black leeches clinging to the outside of it.
No.
And you have to sort of pick them off and pull them off. Yes, go.
Can I make my form look like... Oh, I don't know what I've seen overall.
What are you thinking? Tell me what you're thinking, and then we can discuss.
So, I'd be thinking like something that I've seen in any of the cities, any race that I've seen before that could make me look a lot less appealing to the insects.
Big banana.
I think that's a race I've seen in the cities.
Yeah, the big bananas. Yeah. I mean, those, what are they? They're called potassiums. Very well-known creatures. Yeah, probably lizard folk or Dragonborn is probably the one that would scream to you immediately. The rest of the races that you would have interacted with have skin. which automatically makes them a target for delicious plasmavores, I believe they're called. If you eat blood, are you a plasmavore? I guess you must be.
I'm going to go lizard folk because they tend to be more in jungles, and potentially the insects might be a bit more like, well, that's a lizard folk there. No point trying to even get a meal there because we know what they are. So as we're sort of going through, I'm going to change my form to a lizard folk just to deter. Obviously, I'm aware that insects might still go me, and if they do, like, it won't. The scales won't stop them because actually, I don't know how the
scales aren't stopping.
Works.
So Mira and Lyra are still both collecting occasional leeches and insects as well. The difference is Lyra can't do anything about them. They're sort of like occasionally sticking to the outside of this snake form. They're not. It doesn't seem like they're doing any damage, and they're not doing damage to you either at this point. But they are having goes at you. Even Lockie is still collecting his fair share of things as he steps over because he is generating heat, and that's what they're drawn to. Is there's the temperature. A lot of these insects are still going for Lockie. They're still having a go at him. It's just having no effect because he has no blood.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah.
Can I keep casting Prestidigitation? It says I can chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material.
Non-living material.
But I'm going to chill. I'm going to chill my clothes, so my temperature will lower.
Yes. Yeah, that has 2 benefits for you straight away. First off, it makes you less of a target for the insects. Secondly, it is swelteringly hot. Now that you are close to the ground and walking on the surface of this caldera, the temperature is rising quite significantly. Even in the shade, there is steam rising from little vents and cracks in the ground, and there are pools of this sort of sulfurous water everywhere. I was going to have people start rolling me Constitution saves. You will have advantage on your Constitution save for your Prestidigitation.
Yeah, so that lasts for an hour Owen, as well.
So you can just keep chilling. Yeah, absolutely.
And it says I can cast this spell multiple times. I can have up to 3 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time.
3 feet.
So basically, I'll have
3 cubic feet.
3 cubic feet of my material, breastplate, materials, just sort of to keep me, just to chill it. So I'm a lot less temperature rising for insects, and it helps me cool down a little bit in this sweltering heat.
Yeah. Well, you said the magic word, which is the breastplate, which is the core. If you can cool down your core, the rest of you cools down to match. But you don't have to worry about that at all. So exactly right. Whatever temperature you set your core at is going to be what the rest of your body follows. So that makes a lot of sense. I love it. Fantastic. But there are insects all through the undergrowth, and the jungle itself is pressing in around you. Probably not Lyra, but Lockie, Mira, and Jin. There is a sense of unease, a sense of claustrophobia that comes with just this much foliage pressing in from all sides. Everywhere you look, things are right in front of your face. Massive broad leaves, hanging vines. The cries of creatures in the forest sound eerie and spooky. They're noises you're not used to, these strange cawing, screaming cries from the birds, chattering of monkeys in the undergrowth, almost like laughing. It is a very eerie, unnatural place for all of you, given that none of you have been in this environment before, except for Lyra. The forest is giving you a very strong sense of unease.
As we're going through, I'm going to have my forked tongue start sort of doing like what a snake does. And Mira's in front of me, and she'll just sort of start getting these weird like sounds coming from behind her, and I'll go, Mira.
Oh God.
Mira.
Amazing.
How's it going?
You turn around, you see a lizard folk dressed in Jin's clothing.
Can I roll an intelligence?
Absolutely, of course you can.
It's just eating Jin.
It's just eating Jin and worn his
taking
clothes.
his place.
Fuck, I wish I'd done that now. That would be hilarious.
What? No.
Wait, what?
It's not bad.
17, Mira. Yeah. There's a moment of panic. Your heart sort of like, it just jumps up into your throat for a second, and you go, oh my God, he's eating Jin! And then you're, no, it's Jin. He can change his shape. He's changed like that.
Mira, it's me.
Well, that's
It's a me.
actually much more appropriate, considering
Yes. I think this suits better.
the way it suits you. Mira like looks him up and down. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Thanks. Oh my God. Harry Potter references coming hard and fast tonight, everybody. And last session, and the session before.
And this is a retelling of Barry potted
Very potted. Yeah, Lyra in front goes like, Sash. It's like to let Lockie know that there's like a particularly rough tree root up ahead and he should duck underneath it.
He doesn't realize that though because he doesn't speak Parcel tongue.
Exactly. No, he doesn't. More like
Lockie-
Parcel
Lockie
dumb, am I
tries to
right?
hiss. Lockie tries to hiss and just comes out like a.
A bit of steam hisses out. As one of the pistons like releases. What was that? Sorry, Claire?
There's a kettle whistling.
Yeah. I like the idea of one of these pistons like decompresses. One of the pneumatic pistons goes. Psst. Yeah. But yeah, there is a real. Just to bring the tone back down again. Too much fun. There is a real sense of unease in this jungle. Lyra, you sense movement all around you. This jungle is alive. There are a myriad of creatures and animals moving at all times. Insects, smaller mammals sort of scuttling away. There are other snakes. Very quickly you do sense the vibrations and see, and I would say even smell, because snakes have a pretty good sense of smell. Smell the passage of other snakes through this area. The track that you're moving along, could I have a survival check, please? I wonder how much you can tell. You're not very survivally.
I forgot that I actually have a persona for a lizardman. His name is Garut.
Garut.
Oh, no.
Does he say, I am Garut?
Is it
Maybe.
too late to request my advantage?
No. You can spend your advantage right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can spend it right now. Lockie's also been given advantage. Dragon Wolf has given Lockie advantage as well.
Oh, thank you, Dragon Wolf.
Yep. 10, it's even worse. So 11 and 10. We'll take the 11.
Oh,
What a waste. We'll take the 11. Very strange scent that you're following. This passageway through the undergrowth. It's not a snake, but it's something else. Something very similar to a serpent. The smell, it seems familiar yet unfamiliar. Something about this seems elusive. You sense something elusive.
Invisible snake.
Yeah, as you move through the undergrowth. But yeah, and definitely other snakes in the area. You very quickly see there's a section of root that Lockie's about to step on that is actually a snake. And you're able to sort of flick your tail and push Lockie back as this snake continues moving off the pathway, getting away from the loud, stompy metal warforged that's powering through its habitat.
Sorry.
It's fine. No, you don't hear that. Yeah, so you carry on. I would like Jin and Lockie to each roll me a d6, please. If you don't mind.
Oh no.
We've got a 1 and a 4 for a total of 5. Fantastic.
Oh, I don't like when he does that.
When I say fantastic, why?
You put such, like it's just very bit of foreboding sense to that.
Lyra, you very quickly sense, using your previous perception check, you very quickly sense the as you sort of are heading through the jungle, this pathway that you've sort of been moving adjacent to actually ends in a bit of a dead end, and you can sense the vibration starting to die down from the creatures, these plant, these carnivorous flowers underneath the earth, as if this is the boundary of their territory. And you do sense that it's sort of coming to the end of their danger zone where they are. There is the sense of vibration coming from ahead of you, some sort of movement of many light creatures. Sounds like they're walking or moving on 2 legs, so definitely bipedal, but sort of like a halfling or maybe halfling or gnome walking around. Very, very light. Lots of feet moving up ahead, and you can hear and sense the sounds of sounds like stone tools, sounds like wooden sort of things being banged against, maybe a wooden mallet or a stake being banged against something. It sounds like the sounds of construction almost coming from ahead of you. And you can hear these strange sort of hissing voices speaking to one another as well, as you begin to get a bit closer. After a few more minutes of moving forward, the rest of you can now begin to hear the sounds of almost people coming from in front of you. The sounds of what sounds like a village.
Did you say... Wait, so Lyra heard hissing voices.
Lyra hears like a hissing sort of language.
Right.
This. It's this very strange guttural hissing language.
Will we hear that as we get closer?
Yeah, as you get closer, the rest of you can hear this.
Sounds like something up to something.
It sounds like they're building.
This could be the snake people that we've been trying to find.
Mira, you speak Draconic, don't you?
Yes.
I do as
You can
well.
understand them. You can understand them.
Oh,
So does Lyra.
Oh. I think, wait,
All of
does
you can
Lockie also
understand them.
speak Draconic?
No, I speak giant.
Oh, no.
Nice. That'll come in handy. Yeah, so
Actually,
the
I
three of
just
you who
looked on it.
speak. Okay. Everyone can understand these creatures. You very quickly
okay.
recognize this is a...
Dragons.
It's... What was that, sorry?
Most likely we're playing the Tyranny of Dragons and you'll pick the iconic.
Almost like that. It's like when I run Descent into Avernus, everyone speaks fucking Infernal and Abyssal. It's like, oh, why in your backstory do you speak Infernal? Because I want to. Because I want to. I can't judge. I was playing a bard in Descent into Avernus and I spoke Abyssal and Infernal. But also my bard had like been making deals with demons and ended up like as I think it was a warlock as well, which makes sense. So
my
as an expert
character,
warlock.
even though it's a fighter, is also like a Dampier that's been alive for like 600-700 years.
So it
in
makes
that
sense he might have
time,
picked it up.
he might have
Yeah.
picked it up. I can't.
I
vouch for the
listened
other
to
people
a lot
there.
of Draconic when I was in the city. So
Yeah, sure. Mira, it makes sense. Mira doesn't need a reason. That makes sense.
That's a lot
She's
more
fucking
sense.
Dragonborn.
Lyra's got her reasons.
You were studying Wyverns. I can kind of get an idea why you might be interested in learning Draconic. Like that was your obsession, right? When you were
And I think
Convenience.
for Jin, I think it makes sense that he got a briefing maybe like before this. I don't know how quick he can learn Draconic. I don't really know when he picked it up. I didn't think
a couple
that far
of years
ahead.
of study. It's like
But, like,
learning a language.
Maybe he was chosen from the Bard's College because he can speak
Let's say that,
Draconic,
because he
and
can
that
speak
was
Draconic,
one
yeah.
of the requirements of the job.
Yeah, maybe one of
And
the,
that's
maybe your
what-
Dragonborn form that you take as a commonly used one for you, so it makes sense that you would learn Draconic.
Yeah, that's what I'm sort of thinking. Maybe they chose him because that's one of his like strengths, and it
Yeah,
really
sure.
suits this. Otherwise, they might have chosen another operative.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Cool. So,
Everyone can understand this. It is not traditional Draconic. It's almost like a dialect of Draconic. It's much more guttural. It has much less of the sort of beautiful flowing poetry that Draconic does have. So Draconic is known for it sounds very harsh and guttural, but to those who speak it, it has this very flowing poetic language structure to it. As one of sort of the elder tongues, it is a very old, very well-established language, and so it has these very poetic, metaphorical sort of flow, a little bit like French does as well. Like it has sort of a lot of poetry in the way that the language is constructed. This is kind of like your rural dialect of English. There's like slang words that you don't necessarily recognize. There's abbreviations which sort of catch you for a few seconds before you're able to be like, oh, okay, no, I think I see what they're doing here. This sounds like a very rough form of Draconic, a very rural dialect form of Draconic. As you begin sort of moving a little bit closer and you can start to hear these voices calling out, like they're quite loud, they're not making any effort to stay quiet. My question is, are you guys stealthing? Are you just walking up? Are you stopping? What's the plan?
I think Jin would be stealthy, and he'll sort of go, "What's everyone thinking? Should we be stealthy here, or should we be more?
Look,
What's the
if
word? Just walk
Welcoming?
in."
Well, if we want to get them on side, being sneaky is pretty much out of the question.
It could be good though if we want to have a
Just as
look at them.
backup. Ah, true.
See what they're like first.
Can any?
they are the man.
Yeah.
I'm excellent.
Damn.
Insight check. 9 for stealth.
It's not very crash shot.
Are the rest of you stealthing or just Jin?
Yeah.
Lockie, 6 Lockie. 12 for Mira. Oh boy, your average is atrocious right now.
Yeah.
Come on, Lyra.
It's like 9 or 10 at the moment. It's probably 9 at the moment.
Yeah, use the snake stacks. The snake stacks would be pretty good, right? Snake
Yeah,
stacks
actually the same as mine.
stealthy.
Yeah,
That's not great. Oh no.
10.
Oh no!
Hiya. You are not used to movement through the jungle. Lyra, you've not had a lot of practice with the giant snake. You're still getting used to the form, I think I would say. So you've had a little bit of a go with some other forms, like the direwolf, I think was your go-to for a little bit. But the giant snake, you've not had as much exposure to, having only recently sort of been able to re-practice using it.
It's also a full size class, bigger than anything she's ever been able to turn into before.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. So like you're not as used to the size. So you're finding like judging what you can move through is much more difficult. And of course, having no arms and legs means that like normally you're used to being able to walk very stealthily. You don't have legs anymore. A bit of an issue if you're just getting used to the idea of how you can actually like what's what I'm looking for, like actually be mobile. So you are having a bit of trouble with the form. Overall, yeah, you guys are making a fair bit of noise as you begin sort of approaching to have a bit of a closer look. From out of the bushes next to you, appearing as if from nowhere, spears emerge from bushes, 8 or 9 spears surrounding you, just literally just out of the bushes. Crude wooden spears with these very jagged stone edge tips, probably flint judging by the looks of it, that has been deliberately shaped to have barbed backwards facing spines. If this was to be stabbed into you and pulled out, it would rip and tear flesh. Oof. Yeah. These are like hunting spears. Emerging from the front, sort of stepping out from behind a tree, you see a bipedal lizard folk. You see a member of the lizard folk. Very dark azure scales with a red crest, bright piercing green eyes, dressed in cured leathers that have been shaped to form clothes. Wielding a very vicious looking scimitar that again has been cut, the metal has been cut and shaped to have these jagged barbed edges on it. Sort of steps out and looks and goes, and says in Draconic to you, interlopers, what brings you to our village? Speak or die.
Lyra reaches out a mental connection to him, and at the same
that's
time,
a good question. How long can you hold your wild shape for?
4 hours.
You're fine. Yeah, sorry, carry on. You're fine.
Yeah. So she reaches out a mental link, and at the same time, she sort of circles around the party protectively.
Okay.
She's quite large, and she's sort of like, look, if any of these spears come our way, it's a bit easier for her to heal herself up. But and she speaks to him, and she says, "We mean you no harm. We are travelers. We're seeking a party, actually, that came in. They're bad people, and we want to make sure that they do not hurt the jungle or continue to hurt the continents that we're have been traveling between."
Who speaks in my mind? He sort of looks suspiciously around the party.
I sort of poke
she
my
wags
head
her
out.
tail.
I'll poke my head out.
Like,
Ooh.
just,
Okay, you do it. You do it.
I'm just pointing at Lyra and saying the snake.
That causes all of the lizard folk around, which you can now sort of spot in their growth, to lower their spears towards Lyra. And the creature, this lizard folk in front, this azure lizard folk in front, steps forward and goes, "Hakark, you have one of them with you."
Can I crouch a little
You
bit
are no
protectively over
friend.
Lyra with my shield, just a little?
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah.
One of whom? I say in Draconic.
Yuan-Ti. And he spits on the ground.
We have heard of the Yuan-Ti. They are not friendly. We are strangers in these parts, with respect.
You travel with Yuan-Ti. That is death.
Do
As
I?
they point at Lyra.
Do I know what a yuan-ti is?
You've never heard that term before.
So, okay, so I won't know what they are. I'll
My
sort
bad.
of. Does anyone actually know what a yuan-ti is? I do know what it is, but
I thought
is-
we knew what he was. What they were.
Would Lyra?
This is so Yuan-ti were not around before the ruins. So Lockie and Lyra would have no idea what Yuan-ti are. Mira and Jin, I believe you guys did a history check, and there was an it was an old story or a legend you'd heard about people who took on the attributes of snakes, but I don't think you'd connected the name Yuan-ti to it.
No.
Yeah.
I think she just replied. She's like, I can turn into other stuff too. I'm technically a human.
They change their shapes as well, between serpents and monstrosities.
Okay, do you have any example of something that's not monstrous that you can turn into?
Mushus it is.
Monstrous?
So you say, do you have anything? Do you have an example of something that's not monstrous? He points at himself, and then points probably at Lockie. Mira looks Mira looks no. He would point at Mira. Mira looks draconic.
I'm gonna poke my head out and look at him and be like, I'm a lizard folk at the moment.
You're a lizard folk right now. Yes, you are.
Very similar to them, if not the same.
No, you are dressed in like fine elven clothes because you're dressed in Jin's clothing. So as you emerge, you are so sharply dressed compared to these. As you sort of step out, he pauses a second. As you were at the back, he had not yet seen you. His focus had been on the two giant, like Lockie and Mira in front, and then the giant snake. He had not actually spotted you. The guards at the back are not pointing their spears at you, Jin. They're actually pointing at the rest of the party. Now that you've sort of like alerted that and made a bit of a look around, you can actually see, there's no spears pointing at you. They're not interested in you at all.
I'm going to poke my head around and sort of, hello. My name is Galut. Lovely jungle you have here.
Galut.
He sort of pauses a second and his sword drops a second and then he raises it and points at you and goes,
You are bloodkin?
I'll look down and look at what they're wearing, what I'm wearing, and be like, Well, I do not know because I was raised in the cities. I was taken from my family in the jungles.
He begins growling.
These creatures took you from your home?
Not these ones.
He holds his sword aloft. Oh, okay, just in time. He sort of pauses as his sword is held aloft to sort of give the order for them to stab you. He sort of, like, his sword pauses, he goes,
What are you doing traveling with Yuan-ti?
Now see, that's a really good question, because I don't know what yuan-ti are. I was raised in the cities. What is yuan-ti?
He points at Lyra.
Snake people.
Well, she is not a yuan-ti. This is more just a giant snake.
They can take the forms of others, of giant snakes, of serpents, of monstrous beings.
You can also turn into a bear.
They sort of look at each other confused. They go,
What is bear? Is it good to eat?
So I sort of look at them all and go, our friend here does not turn into monstrosities, but other animals.
They can take the form of serpents. We do not trust this creature.
Points at Lyra.
Why is Dragon traveling with you?
He looks over towards Mira.
Dragon, why do you travel with serpents? Are you not their sworn enemy?
No, we're here. We are seeking out a dwarven fellow. We have nothing to do with anyone else who's come into this place.
No, sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm done.
But there is snake in your presence. The prophecies foretold the dragons would destroy the snakes. Why do you travel with serpent?
I might sort of say under my breath, Lyra, the snake form might be causing more issues.
Yeah, I
was just
Needed.
thinking that. And she just sort of drops it.
Okay. As you begin shedding the snake form and taking your human form, the guards, all of their spears are pointed towards you, Lyra.
I raise my hands.
Just
Sort of like
all of
try
them, like, and the you raise your hand trying to the figure, the azure scaled lizardfolk in front immediately steps forward, blade at your throat. As the last of the serpent changes retreat, and you take on a completely human form, he sort of gestures to one of his guards, who then like puts their hand on your shoulder to try and force you onto your knees on the ground as he begins looking at you. Lyra, my question is, do you allow these creatures to force you to your knees? He seems to be trying to investigate you, looking at you as closely as he can.
Yeah, sure. Like, you know what? Yeah, let's just fucking do this.
You feel clawed hands pulling at you, like sort of cutting into your clothes and your skin, pushing you onto your knees. You drop to your knees, and he sort of grabs your face quite roughly and begins sort of pulling and pushing and looking at for signs, like looking at your eyes, looking around your ears.
She has no snake features.
Oh no, what a surprise!
She's not Yuan-Ti.
Yeah, you say that sarcastically. He sort of steps back, lowers his sword from your neck.
Apologies. We have lost many to the Yuan-Ti. It pays to be cautious in the jungle.
Hey, I hear it, buddy, I hear it. One person that lives in the jungle to another.
So, you are not with Yuan-Ti.
Nope.
What are your intentions here?
You know the group of people that recently arrived in the jungle and probably been stumping around loud, cutting down trees, and generally being a nuisance?
Some of them are still alive, yes.
No, not the batch from a little bit ago, but like the recent one? Or are we talking about the recent one?
Some of them are still alive, yes.
Ah, nice. Oh well, we're gonna go, make sure that none of them are still alive. Do you know what way they went?
They have not come near Slikaskt. This village is protected.
Probably for the best.
Our scouts saw them headed towards the west.
The west, eh? Well, at least we know what way to go. And she just sort of glances back at the others, just sort of like, shit, now what?
Well, we can go and hunt them down for you if you like.
Yes. Travel to the west.
Yeah.
We care not for the movements of these pink skins. The jungle will claim them soon enough, and then we shall find their bodies and feast.
Was there
That
anything
really is a good
specific
one.
they seemed like they were after?
Who knows what pink skins do? Ask him.
Points at... oh, no, sorry, doesn't say that. Sorry. Slipped the tongue,
We're
doesn't
all
say that.
scaly here.
Who knows what pink skins do?
Amen to that.
I'll sort of pipe up for a quick sec. I just wanted to talk for a second. Could we potentially find refuge? I myself have been trying to find my way back to my culture.
Make me a persuasion check.
Okay. Nice.
20. 13 plus 7, 20.
None but bloodkin may enter Slakaskt. But you are not with Yuan-Ti. You are not pink skins, except for this one,
Points at Lyra.
who is strange. Neither Yuan-Ti nor pink skin. A more lizard-like form would be appropriate.
Looks at you expectantly.
I need to have a short rest before I can do that one again, because before I was the giant snake, I was a giant eagle.
So,
And, I
add a-
haven't really had a chance.
at a game, what I'm sort of angling for here is we can have a quick short rest with them. You can get your your charge back, and we could talk to them for like an hour or two and just get more information on how to travel through the jungle. Like, this is out of game, this is what I'm just thinking. We can talk to them for a bit, get some hints and tips from actual people that live in the jungle, or humanoids, instead of the other people that we've talked to so far. We could maybe get some more hints and tips about how to traverse the jungle a bit better.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh, makes a lot of sense.
I am Cask. It is right that you can enter.
What's their name, sorry?
Cask.
Cask. Cool.
It is right that you may enter. You have one night in Slakasked.
Thanks.
Follow.
And he sort of gestures. His the other lizard folk surrounding you raise their spears away from you, and form a guard around you as he begins sort of moving very quietly through the jungle undergrowth. His movements are completely fluid. At no point is he standing still. His body is always moving around the vines, stepping over the branches, dodging the leaves, and he leaves no trace. It is like he is a ghost moving through the undergrowth. You hear no noise coming from him as he steps through.
I don't know how much it will help, but
Yep.
Jin will just keep an eye on all the lizard folk and how they move through it and just take mental notes. I don't know how much it's going to help later on, but I'll just sort of
Make me
take
an
notes
insight
how
check.
they're moving.
Make an insight check for me. 19. Yeah, you sort of, I mean, what you're seeing is the way they move is very, they take advantage of their lower center of gravity, and their tail is constantly being used to help balance these very swaying side-to-side movements. Probably you've not had a lot of practice moving with a tail. That's what you take away, is that you can use your tail to help sort of offset this movement and create these very fluid, dynamic movements as you walk. And
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
gives you a lot more maneuverability.
Because I'm a changeling,
Yeah.
and I know that, like, we've talked about it being more of a magic thing, but I guess it would have, like, the tail is, like, you're able to touch it for all intents and purposes, a physical, like, inspection of a changeling's form. So
exactly right.
the tail would actually be a thing I could use.
Yeah. Yeah, the way we're sort of explaining changeling in this is that it's a physical transformation. So your body, you are reshaping your bones and your flesh to create this effect. And you are compressing tissue to make it denser when you get smaller, so you still weigh the same. Your mass does not change. And when you get bigger, you are spreading it out.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I remember because last time I did the dwarf but disguised self.
Yes.
That's why it made sense. Yeah, no, that was confusing me a little bit. Now, cool, yeah. So I can, for all intents and purposes, I can actually use the tail to move through the jungle. I'll start sort of with the insight check. I'll start sort of using my tail more, incorporating into it, trying to sort of copy them a bit more, just so down the line it might help with some checks. Who knows?
Yeah. As you're walking, one of the lizard folk sort of guards at the back sort of looks and makes this strange sort of chittering sound and goes,
You walk like a child. You never taught to walk right?
Raised the cities. Unfortunately, not the jungle. Taken from me, my family, very early on.
Why you walk as flatfoot? Use your toes.
I'll start trying to emulate using toes and tails.
Yeah. Lizard folk are digitigrade walkers. They walk on the tips of their toes like dogs do. So it's on the flat of their feet like we are. We're plantar walkers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say as well, Owen, you said last time when they saw me, I was wearing like the fine elven clothes, but I'm not actually, because when I entered the jungle, I did don a lighter outfit.
Oh, you did? Yes, you did.
So,
but you are still I guess
be weird.
compared to what they're wearing.
100% will still be weird.
Yeah. I guess in comparison to them, it looks like you're wearing fine elven clothes, because they are wearing cured and tanned leathers, and you do see that some of their things look to be snake skin. A couple of the bandoliers and pouches look to be real snake skin. But yeah, they lead you towards their village. You can see that the lizardfolk village ahead of you seems to be a collection of low huts made out of wood that have actually been built into the trees. So there's not a massive clearing. It's actually organically built in and around an existing clearing with a large waterhole in the center. And And yeah, you can see between sort of 40 to 60 lizard folk of varying ages and sizes moving around, doing tasks, skinning animals, crushing berries. You can see some are actually, it looks like they're distilling some sort of alcohol, some clear spirit from a series of tubes and pipes they've set up amongst the trees. And you can see that tree sap seems to be a component of this drink as well. It looks like they are distilling and doing chemistry on this to sort of distill this very clear spirit made out of tree sap and berries.
I'm going to say something.
Yeah, go.
To Cask.
Yes.
I'll just put two and two together as Jin and myself, the player.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Cass and go, so you aren't here, not friends. And they're like snake peoples.
They are snake-skinned humans. Neither human nor snake entirely. Change form.
I don't know how much this will impact things, but we were following a slithering trail through the jungle that looked a little bit snake-like. Almost like a snake-like humanoid. I'm just telling you this now. You might not be as safe as you think you are. There might be a Ford party or scouts of Yuan Ti.
You are 3 days too late with this information. They raided us 3 moons ago. Killed some of us, stole our things, took our food. We hate them more than anything else.
I'm going to look visibly angry. I'm going to do some snarled hisses and all that, almost like I'm in disgust. I've sort of been copying their mannerisms a lot, and the insight check really helps. So just when they were sort of showing disgust at the UNT, I was doing something similar.
Yeah, you can see that when they what originally you thought was a smile is actually their disgust face. When they bare their teeth, their lips sort of pull back away from these sharp pointed teeth. It's actually a sign of disgust for them. It's sort of a little bit hard getting used to. But yeah, it's this sort of this almost like a snarl of disgust in a way. They're still speaking Draconic, so all of you understand this. But yeah, they lead you through the village, and you can see there is a rather large hut actually built into the earth itself. There's a series of what looks like porous rock caverns below where this is, right on the edge of this water. And this water is crystal clear, this beautiful crystal clear, very slight light blue haze. And you can see there are bubbles occasionally coming up from this porous rock, this porous black rock all around the base, and sort of moving up away from this waterhole. And they sort of bring you around this lake of water, which is sort of 20, 30 feet across, towards this rather large hut. And Cask sort of opens this flap made of, this curtain flap made of these animal hides.
Enter, guests.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll sort of step in.
All of you but Jin have to crouch to get through this. It's only about 4 feet high, but yeah, you crouch and enter. The room that you enter beyond is cozy. There are furs and animal skins, feathers hanging from walls, decorations, paintings that have been done on wood, these beautiful, very geometric designs of paintings. They look almost like technical drawings in a way. These very intricate straight lines and gentle curve shapes, this very strange art style, all around the walls. Inside, you can see a few of the lizard folk sort of sitting. A couple of them seem to be poring over this massive leather tome written in Draconic. And on the wall behind, you can see, at the very far wall from where you are, walls and walls of these texts and what look to be drawings of dragons and dragonborn fighting against these snake-like people, burning them, electrocuting them as these snake people kill and start eating lizard folk. They're very clear depictions of lizard folk. Some sort of great conflict. And in the very center, you can see this ruined golden city. And out of the windows and the doors, it looks like there's these strange wriggling black lines. And as you get inside and your eyes adjust to the darkness, you see all of the Yuan Ti are pouring out of this golden city and moving throughout the landscape causing chaos and destruction where they go. The dragons seem to be trying to hold them back. Something very strange that you notice, Mira, is a figure riding one of the dragons, riding a red dragon, is a Dragonborn. What catches your eye is they are two colors.
Ooh.
The same.
They, not the same as you. They are not red and silver. They are black and copper.
Ooh.
Oh,
Cool.
Is it the same chimerism as Mira as well?
Yes, same chimerism. This one seems to be more favoring the black than the copper. The copper is sort of like highlights on the body. But yeah, one arm and sections of the arm are copper. You can see the horns are sort of copper tipped, and then part of the face is this copper coloration as well. As your eyes are drawn to this mirror, what really catches your eye is the design of their clothing. They are wearing this incredibly geometric patterned robe that matches the geometric patterns that have been drawn all around the walls, all over the walls, this sort of strange geometric pattern all over. And sitting around its neck looks to be some sort of talisman. This strange circular device with a diamond shape in the middle. And what you see as you enter in, on a pedestal in front of this tapestry, is that necklace. This circular pendant with the diamond shape cut out from the center.
would I be able to get a little look at that pattern and see if I could find like the like a logic behind it, like a mathematical significance or
Yes, you may. I would like an Arcana check from you, please, Lockie.
Sweet.
Is it like fractals?
Yeah.
Natural one. Did you want to use the advantage that you've been given by Dragon?
Is my advantage.
Amazing.
Oh,
25.
That's so much
Bit
better.
better. So the first roll was a natural one, but Dragon Wolf, one of the chat, has given Lockie advantage, which he has now used to give him a total of 27.
Thank you, Dragon Wolf.
Lockie. Thank you, Dragon Wolf. You too can come and join us and give the characters advantage and disadvantage live if you come and join us on twitch.tv/thelostarchives. Yeah, Lockie, as you look, something very strange begins happening in your mind. It's almost like looking at these diagrams is actually affecting you and opening up pathways in your mind. Sections of your memory banks which have remained dormant and unused for centuries suddenly, as if rebooted by the visual input of this, like some sort of password has been entered, begin whirring and clicking.
QR code.
All of you watch as Lockie freezes in place and ceases to move.
Oh.
As he seizes and freezes in place as if paralyzed. This sort of grinding halt, and then the gears just stop and Lockie freezes in place. Lockie, I'm going to take you across to a private chat, and you and I are going to have a little bit of a talk. But how that's going to sound for the stream is I'm actually going to move the others to a different chat, because that'll be a lot easier, and then I'll bring. I'm worried about how that's going to work for the Craig
Recording.
and Giark.
We can
Okay.
move if
Can you
want.
please deafen yourselves, and I will message
Alright.
I'll message in the Lost Archives cast chat on Discord when you can come back.
I'm kicking Claire out of the
No!
And the thing
you go,
is,
Claire.
Claire's also yeah. You gotta yeah.
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 Okay,
No.
so I'm
Claire.
deafening myself.
All right. Yes, please. Lockie.
Yes.
Oh man, I love when we get to do the sort of one-on-ones. Lockie, you have memories flooding back. Memories of magic. The old magic. Giant magic. You are a lot older than you thought you were. Your memories only go back to sort of your time on the skyship and maybe meeting Lyra and maybe a little bit before then. What has been opened up is thousands of years. This pattern is a spell. It is old magic. It is a runic magic. It is designed to be used by a very specific type of creature. A creature of elemental magic of two different sources. This is the magic that the giants use. This elemental magic is how they created many of their special powers that have not been able to be used since they disappeared. You know from looking at this that the gods themselves provided the blueprints for this. This is sort of like technological magic. That amulet on the pedestal can only be used by someone of 2 elemental affinities, and what it does is it unlocks the ability for them to shift and change their magic and their elements to conform to the elemental energies that they themselves are bound to. You also know instinctually that this is prophetic in nature. The designs, the patterns speak of the return of an ancient evil that only dragons can seal away. And one dragon in particular is essential. A dragon of 2 origins that binds chromatic and metallic together.
Yeah.
Only with such a being can Tiamat be sealed away. However, it is the existence of such a creature that allows Tiamat's prison to weaken. As long as Mira is alive, Tiamat can still find a way out, unless Mira is able to activate the seal required to keep her imprisoned.
Oh, wow.
Alrighty, we can bring the others back.
Okay. Claire.
Oh man, love it.
All right.
Welcome
I noticed
back.
something, Owen.
Yes.
I have the stream up. I could have listened, but I
Thank you
kept
for not
it
listening.
muted. I don't know
Thank you
what
for not
was
listening.
done, but it was
We're gonna
funny.
get Lyra back. How
It was
do
sitting
we
there
let
just-
let Lyra know?
She just said, "Can we come back?"
Come back. I've messaged her. Where did she message that? Did she do it in the general?
It's in general.
Oh, I was doing it in the Lost Archives cast. Oh, sorry, Ali. Are you part of the Lost Archives cast specific? Yeah, you are. Sorry, there's a specific chat for the Lost Archives cast. Sorry, I should have been more specific. Welcome back.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, all of you just watch as Lockie just seizes up and freezes in place, as if non-functional.
I sort
shit.
I sort of go to Lyra. Is that normal?
No. Actually, he was a bit like this when I first saw him, and then she checks the same mechanism that she activated the first time.
Lockie is completely non-functional. The only thing that is ticking away is his brain. It is whirring like you have never heard before. Something is happening inside his mind.
It looks like he's still running. Can she reach out and contact him?
With your mind,
Yeah.
as you reach out and contact Lockie, you hear a million voices speaking at once over the top of each other in all different languages across time. The sounds of Lockie's voice sort of dominant, but the sounds of many, many voices. It is painful to hear. Could you please roll me a d4, Lyra?
/RD4. Nope. /D4. Great success.
2. You take 2 points of psychic damage.
Ooh.
But
As you attempt
I don't
to reach into-
because I have defenses against
resistance.
psychic damage.
Yeah,
Resistance
you
against
take
psychic
one.
damage.
Resistance, so you take 1 damage instead.
Hell yeah.
As you get like a very mild headache, just sort of a very mild temporal headache, as all these voices start shouting over the top of each other. It sounds like something is happening inside Lockie's head. Something very odd. Mira, what were you going to say?
So you go, Lyra.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was also going to say that Mira is probably doesn't even notice. She's just staring at the image, at medallion, and going, and just turns to them and goes, "Who is this? What is this?"
Cask looks over and goes,
This is our savior, the one who will banish the Yuan Ti.
and points at the figure on the dragon's back.
And this medallion, this is hers, theirs.
This is how we will know he has returned. When the medallion chooses him.
Do they
What
have to
did
be
you-
Dragonborn? I'll look at Lockie.
Oh,
Yes, they have to be Dragonborn of 2 colors, but not your colors. This is clearly black and bronze.
As he points at the figure on the dragon's back.
There must be lots of multicoloreds. Have you ever seen a black and bronze? You should send them here.
I haven't seen anyone like me. It's very rare. It's a mutation. What's his?
He squints at you, and I'm going to roll an insight check for him.
Rare? There are not many of you.
No, not that I know.
We always thought there must be lots. They just never came to save us.
What is story? What happened? There was a war.
The creatures Yuan Ti, they are our ancient enemy. We have fought them for many, many, many generations. They live in the city. They come from the city. They disappeared for some time, but they have returned. A group wandered through the jungle of pink skins. Some of them survived. They awakened the creatures Yuan Ti. And our problems began again.
They must have recruited them.
We know not.
What does this medallion do? What does it do?
It is the mark of the chosen. Of Kurangt, that of 2 colors, of 2 origins.
Lockie, you unfreeze as your memory banks resume normal functioning. The information that you have, you have.
Well, he falls to a knee.
As for you, essentially a couple of 100 years have passed.
as he sort of falls, I notice, and I sort of, are you okay, Lockie?
Are you alright? I'll try and pick him up.
I'll help.
Yep, Lyra's
Sort of-
helping too.
All three of you raise him up onto both feet. Lockie looks a bit dazed and a bit confused.
He looks up to Mira. That was a lot. I think there's more to you than you realize.
I think Mira will stand up, look at Lockie, look at the medallion, and she'll turn to the lizard folk and she'll say, with permission, I have certain abilities. Would it be alright if I touch this artifact?
Yes, it will only react to the chosen. You may touch,
Mira.
but you are wrong colors.
Before you do, why is it that you're seeking this cult?
Because they are evil. They wish to corrupt.
No. Why are you seeking this cult?
Well, we got a contract. I'm
No.
the only original one.
And he's going to walk up to her. He's going to put his arms on his shoulders and try and stare into herself. Why are you looking?
I'm trying to make. I'm adventuring. This is my dream. This is my life. I've chosen this. This is what I want to do. We're out in the middle of the jungle and looking for dragon cults. This is everything.
Mira, this is very important. But what is it that drives you? What is it?
Something about Lockie's words, Mira, are cutting in a little bit. They're something about what he's saying feels is something your mind doesn't want to go to. Something that you've either buried or forgotten, or something doesn't. You don't know why you're doing this, but for the first time, you realize you've been drawn to this. Ever since you first heard of the cult of the dragon attacking Green Nest and you realized what it was, you've jumped into this head first. Just fully committing very quickly. And for the first time, you start to realize how odd that is. Given your history, given your background, given your work in politics, you suddenly have this intense wanderlust, and the very first outing you come across this. It is a bit suspicious. There's a doubt placed in your mind by Lockie's words. Something about his tone, something about what he's saying begins to raise some doubts.
What are you saying, Lockie? That I'm meant to be here? What? I'm just following I thought it was a calling. I thought it was a vocation.
I think there's something going on here, much deeper level. And I think that before you try and have a look at that item, you should first seek inside yourself what it is that drives you. Is it to make the world better? Is it to put a stop to something that's going wrong? Or is it to seek beyond your means? And I would say, I'm not sure how it would turn out, but if you find inside yourself a shadow of doubt or of greed, that I think you should check what it is that you actually want before you reach out for that medallion.
Mira looks at the medallion and the curiosity, and she is drawn to the power. That's what drew her to the Horde, to the crystals in the Flying City. It was the power that drew her.
So I'm gonna quickly jut in real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Jin's very engrossed in this whole scene. He's just sort of gonna lick his lips a little bit, sort of, because his mouth probably just went dry from just sitting there, just staring and just listening. But he'll just sort of go to Lockie and go, "What happened? Did you see something? Your presence before. Complete change."
I've seen a lot of things. And there is much more to this than we originally thought. There is a power here, waiting to be unleashed, or waiting to be trapped.
For good or ill?
Power is power, my friend. It's how you use it. But the power here is like a lock. And it'll turn back again to Mira. Mira, it seems that you are key.
Yes, but for who? That's
what I'm trying to figure out. That is why we need to know. What is it that drives you?
all my life I've been repressing my power. People have been telling me, no, it's too raw, it's too much. But since being here, I've not only controlled it, but it's got greater and greater. And I can do good with it. I can do good things. Do terrible things, but I can do good things with it too. That's what drives me to be better. The more I find out about myself, the better I become. More powerful. And that's what I seek.
All right. And he lowers the shield which you place up because subtly he'd been putting himself in between the group and the medallion.
Yep.
Okay.
The pathway to the medallion is clear.
What are you scared of? What am I scared of? What is going on?
These markings around us, they tell a story. And they also are the basis of a spell.
Oh. Do I get like I'm a sorcerer. I'm not Lockie. And my intelligence is 10.
This isn't magic as you've seen it. This is something else.
Yeah.
Something a lot older. Emerging from behind a section of the tent is an incredibly old, milky-eyed, with dull grey scales lizard folk, dressed in intricate robes with a number of beads and jewels hanging from her person. And as she steps around, she sort of doesn't really see the rest of the party, of course, because her eyes are blind, but she immediately, as soon as she steps in, locks eyes with Mira. Mira, you find yourself looking into these blind eyes, but they seem to be staring deep into you. The figure goes,
"Ah, at last you've come. I was afraid the visions had been misleading."
Ooh.
I'll look up to her and go, whatever visions you've had, I believe that my friend here may be the one you seek.
Yes, there is no other. Not in this generation nor the more to follow. What took you so long, my dear?
I guess I needed to grow up.
And have you?
If that means realizing I've more to grow, then yes. I'm not standing still anymore.
Well then, take what is yours.
she gestures towards the pedestal, the amulet sitting above it.
It has been waiting many generations for you.
How is that possible? I'm from the north. I'm from ice and snow.
Lockie will point out
And
picture. This spell has a transmogrification aspect to it. If I were to put it into Artificer's terms, I would call it some kind of stone can transfer metals from one state to another.
Fucking love that reference, man. Good. Good. Fantastic. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I like it.
Mira will look at the other two and go, I'm sorry, this wasn't, I didn't specify this in the contracts, it wasn't outlined in the terms of our agreement. It's not company policy, this is a bit,
I'll sort of pipe up. I think this is past contracts and such. This power could help against the rise of Tiamat.
You're right.
As you say that name, a hiss rises from the lizard folk around this.
The Dark Mistress. We do not speak her name.
Sorry, but that's who we're fighting. That's who we're trying to stop.
She is the cause of much sorrow for our people and for yours.
Yes. Yes, she must be stopped. I'll step up to the amulet, medallion. I'll look around. I'll just hold my hand out above it. Can I get a sort of, in the same way I kind of got the idea of the feeling of the city, do I feel anything from this medallion?
As you approach, the medallion slowly rises into the air,
Oh,
and
okay.
the diamond in the center begins spinning rapidly.
Be very, very sure before you do this. So if you reach with this item with ill intent, I fear the unintended consequences.
Mira kind of flexes her red side, her red arm,
Yep.
and then it relaxes.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kind of rubs it with her silver arm. And she goes, No, I choose my path. And with both hands she'll reach out.
Oh, okay. And you grab it with both hands.
Both hands.
Fantastic. You watch as the amulet, the center diamond, stops spinning and goes quiet. Mira, you're holding a metal amulet. Seems to be made of some bronze, copper-like substance, but feels very heavy, much, much heavier and denser than what it should.
What's the size of it?
It's about the size of a palm. It's quite large, sort of. What's that, like 5 centimeters diameter?
Can I hold
5,
it
6
up
centimeters
to my,
diameter.
Can I hold it up to my Ursat's eye?
Yeah.
Can I see through it? Or does it stop?
No,
There's, like-
no, you cannot see through it.
So it's like embedded into the back surface, the coppery.
The diamond is very. So now that you're getting a really close look at it, it's a circle amulet, and the diamond looks to be embossed on the surface of it. But you saw that diamond lift off and begin spinning. It's now back as if it's an emboss. Something very strange was going on there. It's embossed on both sides.
Yeah.
Mira, as you hold it up and begin watching, you watch as red begins to bleed into the diamond, as the diamond on one side fills and becomes completely red. As you spin the amulet and look, the other side has filled with this silver. One side red, one side silver.
I'll spin it so that the colours mix together in the light.
You spin the amulet. As you look, you get the optical illusion of the red and silver spinning into this sort of pinky color. And then as the amulet stops, one side diamond has turned completely silver, one side has turned completely red. The lizard folk around the rest of you are now bowing. Mira has not yet seen this.
Lockie joins them.
Oh.
Cask nudges you, Jin.
Bow, what you doing?
Sorry. I was engrossed in the moment. And I'll
Lyra
bow.
follows suit.
What do you do, Mira?
Oh,
You haven't noticed anyone, you're just sort of looking at the amulet at this point.
looking at the amulet. Can I? Because I just want to make a connection, because the thing about draconic sorcerers is they have that
Yep.
draconic understanding that precious gems are timeless. Can I maybe use one of my font of magic
Yes.
to try and either connect with the gem or imbue it, or just because it's connected with my colors, I want to connect with its
Yeah.
magic.
Okay, can I get you to spend a sorcery point, please?
Yeah.
Mira, as you push out with your ice and fire, there is an explosion of light from the amulet. Everyone is bowed, so none of you are being blinded by this. Mira, you're not blinded by this either. That was a good call, all of you bowing. Mira, you watch as flames and ice begin dancing up your arms, and you now have a full understanding of what this amulet is and what it does. At any point when you cast a spell of first level or higher, you can substitute the damage type to ice or fire damage. Moreover,
Cool.
if you spend a sorcery point, you can have a random elemental effect occur at the point of your magic's target.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And I will add this item to your inventory. It is the amulet of duochromatism.
So cool.
And that is where we're going to end for tonight.
No!
Oh,
We'll just have a chat later. We're on a short rest, you know.
I will say, in the purposes of speeding up next session, you guys can take your short rest in the break between streams. How about that?
Cool.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah, there will be time for you to have a short rest. That was fun. I didn't know whether we'd get to do a little bit of Lockie's backstory with this, and I had planned for this to come in a little bit later, but I was going to only hint at it. But Lockie's role kind of threw things out a bit. So Lockie got a bit of a lore dump. Sorry, Michael.
yeah, I'm cool with that. That's great.
Okay, cool. It is up to you how and when you want to release that information to the rest of the group.
Oh, so there was a lot more to this vision.
Oh man,
There's more.
What?
I
Poor
will
Lockie
find
had
out.
a bit of a
I will find
bit of a
out.
lore dump.
There was already heaps of lore there. Wow.
Lockie,
Cool.
Lockie, stand strong. Do not tell Claire.
No, I won't.
Michael can tell Claire. It's
No,
fine.
Michael.
No, Michael. I
Ow.
have blackmail on you. I have blackmail on you now. I can get you in trouble.
That's what you do. No, it's okay. It's okay. Michael doesn't like spoilers.
I've just realised though the blackmail expires either this Friday or next coming Monday, so that's
Yeah.
not great blackmail. Shit, I didn't think this through. I'll think of something. I'll hire an assassin with Bitcoin or something like that.
Wow.
If you tell them. That escalated quickly. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's on me. That's on me. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. That was an awesome session. I'm so excited to jump in next week. And next week we have a guest character joining us. We have Matt, who will be jumping in and joining us for a couple of sessions, perhaps longer, if he wants to stick around and if we like his character. Otherwise, we'll kill it and you can make a better one. So yeah, Matt will be joining us for the next couple of sessions. He and I have got his character together. I'm hoping to have his character art ready in time for the next session. I will work really hard to get it done, but no promises. I might do a bit of a stream tomorrow night, live drawing of it, depending on how I'm
cool.
going.
So context.
I'm traveling.
Matt
Yes.
is a old school friend of mine.
That
and
is
I've
correct. He
been
knows Jared.
I've been DMing him and I've played with him before, and the thought just popped in my head. He's actually a pretty good, or I think he's a pretty good sort of D&D player. So I thought he could really mesh well with us. He's a bit more roleplay heavy, so I think he
Perfect.
could be a really good addition.
Yeah, he's already written like a 2-3 page backstory
not
based on
surprised.
like very minimal information that I gave him, and it really fit in really well.
Well,
with
he's
what
actually
the current story is.
he sent me like a screenshot before, and he's like got a lot of to get through, and he was listening to our podcast.
Oh, fantastic! Well, Matt, if you've caught up and you're listening to this episode, can't wait to birth you next week. Awesome. Well, he has no idea what he's in for.
He said he really likes.
We're going to turn
Emmerich.
into a giant bird.
He said he
Oh,
really
no.
likes Emmerich.
Oh no! Does he
I've
know
let
yet?
him know. I've let him know that Emmerich
okay.
isn't around later. But he is. He
that's
could.
good.
Who knows? He might show up later. He did
He might
steal
show up
that
later.
dragon egg.
He did steal that dragon egg.
Wait, maybe Emmerich's the one that's destined to be riding on a dragon and saving the world.
Maybe. Who knows? We will have to find out next episode. No, we won't find that out next episode. That's. I'll tell you right now, that's not what it is. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for those of you who've been joining us live. I can see that we had a few people spending their channel points to give advantage to the players. Looney and Dragonwolf both gave advantage. If you come join us live, you can actually participate. You can use your points from watching us to give players advantage, disadvantage, spawn monsters, spawn NPCs. You can do lots of crazy stuff with your channel points. So please feel free to come and join us live if you're around. There's something special about it live. We get to give a shout out. And I will be doing a little bit of a Q&A, probably not next week, but the week after. So if you've been thinking of any questions that you want to ask about the campaign or about the players, anyone who wants to stick around can join me. We'll do a little Q&A for anyone who happens to be online at the end. But for the moment, that is all we have time for. I will see you guys for a stream tomorrow night, either a live drawing stream where I'll be doing the character art for Matt, or some VR streaming, depending on what I feel like. But the rest of us, we will be back for more Dungeons & Dragons goodness next Wednesday. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all then. Farewell, everybody.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Goodbye.
Yeah.